have to reevaluate everything that I'm doing, my processes, my business, my habits, and I have to say, do I want to keep doing that? Okay guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been sitting on Amazon now for about 4 years. I'm on a mission to do £1 million and I run multiple businesses, and also I like to travel the world. But today I want to kind of share with you where I am, what I'm doing, and talk through that. So quite simply, what am I going to go through, and then we'll jump into it and just show you a bit about life in Cancun and my business and where I'm at now. Okay, so first things first, I'll probably talk a bit about like why I came to Mexico, Cancun, why I travel countries, what's the reason behind that, and maybe you can take something away from it. I'll also give you a bit of kind of background behind the scenes, and we'll cut to a lot of like outside videos, not just going to be me sat here, of what is life like in Mexico and how I found it. And hey, it's been quite fun, but also quite interesting. I'll also talk about how my business here is in Mexico and how I set that up and how I operate as a remote digital nomad. And then also as well, I will have a talk and I'll share with you what my kind of plans are maybe for 2021, just going forward, looking into the future. But hey, no one knows the crystal ball. Okay, so it's a new year, 2021, and it's a new start. And I'm not gonna go into it, but 2020 was COVID. And you know what, even now in the UK, it's actually worse than what it was in 2020, lockdown. And I'm really lucky I got out of the country before the country went into lockdown, pretty much the whole thing. That was a whole palaver in itself, having to book 3 flights. 2 of them got cancelled and the 3rd one, and eventually I made it out here. But I really enjoyed traveling as part of my life. Now that leads me quite nicely onto, hey, Mexico, why Mexico, Cancun, why am I here? A couple of things. If you don't know, the whole of last year, I calculated that I spent 40 days in the UK, which is like crazy. I started the year off technically in the UK, flew out through China back to Vietnam, spent probably 7 months in Hanoi, a couple more months in Ho Chi Minh, and then I went to the UK, did a road trip around the UK, which was great, met lots of Amazon sellers, and then also as well Lithuania, and then Gran Canaria for a couple of months, and then back to the UK for Christmas, and then back out again now to Mexico. Now the reason why I came to Mexico is quite simply because of COVID, the whole world is pretty much on lockdown with a lot of restrictions. Mexico wasn't, it had no entry requirements, no COVID testing before. And not to say that I haven't done it, I've done many COVID tests. We also had no isolation requirements. Also as well, when I left, they were talking about the new strain of COVID. So that was a real problem because I didn't really fancy going into isolation again. I was happy to say, look, I've got my test, I'm happy. So Mexico really appealed for me for a number of reasons. Number 1, 180-day visas. Number 2, I could get here without having a lot of COVID restrictions. And then number 3 is the fact that, well, it's Mexico and it's warm, beautiful seas, it's lovely beaches, lovely place to be, and cheap cost of living. And generally speaking, it's not on too bad a time zone. I want to do a work into America this year, so quite simply being on the US time zone helps. Now, a quick question I'd ask for you guys, because a lot of people have talked to me and I do share more of my updates, is have you ever been to Mexico? Have you ever been to Cancun, Mexico, which is where I am today? Drop it down below. Now, one of the reasons why I came to Mexico, Cancun, was actually originally I wanted to go to Mexico City, but they are on lockdown, they've got a lot going on, and Mexico, Cancun wasn't. Pretty much open, pretty much free. So I came here instead. I'll enjoy the Riviera, travel around this, and then jump over to Mexico City later on. Okay, so I talked about it earlier. I've traveled to a lot of countries. I'd only spent probably about 40 days in the UK last year. And you might kind of ask the question, why? Why do I travel so much? And you know what? It costs a lot of money. Travel, flights. It's a lot of disruption. You've got to obviously get flights. You've got to book them all. You've got to go to new places, booking. I have to go to a hotel. Then I have to find a place to live, and I've got to find new routines. It's a lot of hassle. It's easy staying at home, staying where your house is. It's actually harder to get on a plane, go somewhere, make a new life, leave all your friends. I travel alone. I have to meet new people every place I go. It's hard. It really is. But the one kind of thing I always think about is that right now I am 34 years old. I'm not in a serious relationship and I don't have children, but maybe in the future I might have. And I know that when I make that commitment, my options in life, my freedoms they're gonna be different. And as a result, I think when you have the opportunity do something, whether it be traveling the world, whether it be starting an Amazon business. When you have that opportunity, you should take advantage of it. Not wait, not leave it, not say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Like, no, do it now. And traveling for me has been about life experience, learning about me, going through the ups and downs, the loneliness, the problems, but also the highs, seeing so many different cultures, learning about different ways of life, that it's opened my eyes, it broadened my horizons, and it allowed me to meet new people that I've learned so much about myself. Now, if I make it really crystal clear, what do I like about traveling and why do I still do it? Quite simply, people ask me the question, Tom, do you ever get lonely? Do you get lonely traveling? The short answer is yes. And I would still get lonely at home. Being lonely in another country with a whole new experience actually isn't so bad. I can go see the beautiful beach, the Riviera, maybe I can go see different parts of the country. And while I might technically be alone, it's not so bad and I kind of get on with it. And actually my life, I feel blessed and I feel grateful for the opportunity to do that. But the other thing which I really like, and that's kind of on a personal level, making the opportunity to do things, meet new people, new life experiences, travel the world, see new cultures, I really love that. But also as well, on a professional level, it pushes me outside my comfort zone. And there's one New Year's resolution I made this year, was that every 2 months, I need to have a big change in my life. So that might be a new house, a new city, a new country, even maybe it's like something as simple as a new co-working space. Change things up. And you might ask why? Well, quite simply, what I've seen is that when I stay in something for longer than about 2 months, I start building in, or bad habits start getting formed. An example might be, I might just have a meeting for the sake of a meeting, or I might do a certain process because I'm doing it. But every single time I make a big change in my life, I mix things up, or let's say, for example, now I come here into Cancun, I have to reevaluate everything that I'm doing, my processes, my business, my habits, and I have to say, do I want to keep doing that? Now, an example would be, I keep going to the gym, I keep eating well, but I might, I don't know, cut down the amount that I drink because I'm not really happy with it. Or I might, I don't know, wake up earlier because I'm not happy in lying in all the time or going to sleep late. These big changes in my life really support me in making new habits, new changes, which are going to help me ultimately in my life and my business. And I've seen it time and time again that having those big changes, I said every 2 months, really helps me get where I want to be and my business to grow. Personal, moving around, new experiences, meeting new people, but also professional, the disruption caused by changing new countries, new experiences, actually forces me to reform new habits, new processes, which benefit me and lose the old bad habits. Okay, so one question you might ask is like, what's my life like here in Mexico? Well, it was a nightmare to start with. Well, not really a nightmare. It was getting a house, getting sorted, just took a lot longer than expected. Right now, I'm in, this is where I'm living. I rent a room with a friend of mine who's paid for the lease, and it's a beautiful apartment. And normally I wouldn't do that. Normally I'd have an apartment to myself. But we get on, and also as well, it's an amazing apartment. We've got a private swimming pool downstairs. The complex that we're in, there's like 13 apartments or something, or 12 apartments. And quite simply, it's just an amazing house. And hey, sometimes it's nice to have company. So beautiful apartment, and I'm really happy. And hey, you know what? It's really cost effective. So if I give you an idea, to buy this apartment or to rent this apartment on an Airbnb for 1 month would probably cost you something about £1,200 per month. But to rent this through a 1-year lease and what I'm doing now, I'm probably paying just slightly less than half of that. So it's like a no-brainer. And while the money isn't a huge issue, I could afford to pay it, I'd rather not. I'd rather invest it in my business and other things that I want to do and actually have a really nice quality of life. So it's nice to have a bit of company for some time and obviously enjoy, meet people and be in this lovely city. How is my life in Mexico? Well, quite simply, it was quite eye-opening. I probably, like a lot of people, did a lot of research into Mexico, and the one thing people talk about are like, oh my God, cartels, dangerous. And I will tell you a funny story. The first day I arrived, I went and stayed in a hostel because I wanted to be with people for New Year's Eve. The moment I went into the hostel, I dropped my bag down, went to the reception desk, started talking, and then all of a sudden I heard a really big bang. I was like, what is that? And all the lights went out, like everything flickered. I was like, is that a bomb? It's like just a bomb gone off. And it wasn't. it was an electrical fault or something outside, and the electric sparked, and it caused one of the generator, or not the generator, it's called one of the transformers to go out. And I was like, I've done the research, and yeah, there are cartels and there are problems, and security can be a problem out here. But you know, if you keep yourself to yourself and you don't flash the money, generally you're right. I've not had any problems with taxi drivers, people trying to rip me off. I won't lie, I'd probably pay a little bit more, but in regards to how much money we earn, it's nothing. I don't get local rates, but the prices we're paying aren't much. But everyone's been really friendly. It's just been a nice experience. And I've not felt unsafe, but I've always just been careful. And I'd probably say that I've traveled a lot. So I've really enjoyed it. And the one thing which I will say is I'm not currently living in like the hotel zone where all the tourists are. I'm living in downtown. So this is a lot more local, should we say. I went to a salsa lesson. I'm taking up salsa classes again. Out of 13, 14 people there, I was the only foreigner. So I certainly tried to mix in with the locals and try and understand about local culture. I love that. I think that's great. And hey, when in Rome, enjoy or do as the Romans do. I try and get very much part of the local environment. Okay, so one question you might be thinking about, what are my travel plans for the next 2 months or a few months? Well, quite simply, I do like change. So while I'm here, there is a lot I'd like to do, but I need to be careful. I need to balance that with working, working co-working spaces, doing that, but also as well doing some travel. So quite simply, what am I looking at doing? Well, my initial thoughts were Mexico City, but that's gone locked down. So now it's Cancun, and then I'll look to go down the road to Playa del Carmen, and then maybe a look at Tulum. But I've heard Tulum is very expensive and very kind of like Instagram central. So I'll probably go visit, but I won't stay there. But there's a lot of digital nomads in Playa del Carmen, so I might go look at that as well. Obviously, right now you can see I am in my apartment. We've got 3 bedrooms. The master bedroom's got not only an ensuite, but also a walk-in wardrobe and really safe area. We've got 24-hour security on the complex. And we're literally like 2-minute walk away from a Walmart, and a 2-minute walk away from a gym, and a 5-minute walk away from the biggest shopping mall in the whole of Cancun. Oh, and if you want to know how much am I paying, well, I think the rent for this apartment is probably about 1,200 everything pounds for the whole apartment. Maybe a bit less, £1,000, sorry, 1,200 US. I'm splitting that at the moment, obviously, with my housemate who I'm sharing with now. Really good value for money, and I do like it. Now, that leads me quite nicely onto my business. And oh my God, it's been a palaver, absolute palaver. So if you don't know, obviously I run 2 businesses and I've got 30 staff, and they are in the Philippines. And a lot of my time is pretty much phone calls, meetings, phone calls, and also doing this YouTube. That's where I spend my time. Now, quite simply, is Philippines is on the polar opposite. So right now it's like 8:30 in the morning, but it'll be like 9:30 PM in the Philippines. So when I wake up, they're going to bed, and the other way around. And we've had so many phone calls whereby it's been like, I'll be on a call with my team and they'll say, right, we'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, no, that's today, but that's in my evening, but it's their day and the next day. It gets really, really confusing. And I've even had it whereby I've had phone calls with my team they literally have a phone call with me, they then go to sleep, and then they have another phone call in their morning. So a whole day's passed for me, but they've literally only slept. So it's like, why are we having another phone call? Because you literally just got off the other one but had a sleep in the middle. So really, really interesting. But we're making it work, figuring out how that operation works, and trying to be efficient with it. So number one, managing my team, supporting them remotely, also with the time difference has been a real challenge, but we are getting there. The second one has been co-working. Now, I've tried so many co-working spaces. I went for a massive walk. Half the co-working spaces were shut down. I found one nice co-working space with a lot of people, but the internet was still in like 20 megabits a second. And when I'm doing YouTube filming, I'll probably generate like 40 gigabytes of data a week of video content that we need to upload, and at 20 megaseconds, that's just not viable. So I found 2 other places that actually got over 100 megabit a second connections, which has been really nice, and they're very modern. But because of COVID, there is no one here. So many, many times I've been co-working on my own in the co-working space, which has been all right, headphones on, crack on, but obviously I go to co-working because I want to have the co part of it. Just got to get on with it, that's life. And hey, pros and cons of traveling during this period, and also finding and trying to run your business and do all that. Now, the one kind of question you might be asking is like, what are my plans? Why Mexico? What am I doing here? Well, one thing I've talked about in the past is right now, I'm currently in the process of selling a house. And then also as well, when I sell that, I'm going to take the proceeds and invest that into an Amazon USA business. Now, the one big thing was that I wanted to be on the same time zone because there's a lot of other US USA sellers here, which obviously I can network with, I can support, and they can help me in my understanding of the Amazon USA business. So quite simply, being on the same time zone is going to be really helpful to supporting me in networking with them, but also being out here just makes me feel geographically closer to the US, get that business going and really understanding what's happening. Being in Mexico is going to support me in growing probably my third business, which I'll be quite pleased with. Third business selling on Amazon in the USA. But then also as well, the other one which I really want to do, which I really like with the time zones, is I want to support you guys. I want to get on lives. I want to give you my thoughts and my opinions on things in live Q&As. So what I'm going to start doing is a lot more live YouTube, Facebook content that's going to be more interactive and it's going to help you in your business. Quite simply, YouTube videos I love. I think they're really great as a resource, but we have so many questions and so many people are asking me questions that actually becomes a bit hard. So if I allocate time, if I come on a live with you and have a set topic that we talk about and share my answers to that, that's going to really help you guys out and support you in your Amazon business. And hey, it's nice for me to network because hey, maybe I'm sat in a co-working space alone, and I can join you on a live. And hey, even if you're in the UK, 7 p.m. your time is 2 p.m. my time, and that's just a working day. It doesn't even take any time out of my life. So really happy to do that. And it's really nice to network with other Amazon sellers in their business. That's pretty much it for me today. I just wanted to do this video really to share a little bit about my life in Mexico, where I'm at, to kind of give you an update. And hey, maybe you want to come out here when the restrictions are lifted, or maybe you can travel now. You know, I'd love to see people. I've got a couple of people who already said they're going to come. I'm looking forward to it. And hey, we are blessed with this lifestyle, this Amazon FBA business, whereby we can have the ability to travel. And I think I always say it to people, if you have the ability to do something, you should take advantage of it. Like, never take anything for granted, because there will one day come that you can't do it. So take advantage of it while you can. And hey, if you want to come visit me, come visit me, drop me a message. I'm always up for meeting people, but also know, hey, maybe there's another country you're in that I should come visit. Let me know. That's great. What I will say is hopefully you like this. Give me a like. Just let me know that you like this kind of content. And hey, hit subscribe, because obviously I'm going to share not just lifestyle, but a lot of educational videos and even lives that talk about that. It's going to help you. So what I will also do is I'll drop a link around here to a day in the life of me in Gran Canaria. And quite simply, I'd watch that because that pretty much gives you a good understanding of like what my digital nomad life is like, how I run my business, how it works. And it just gives you a bit of an insight to what happens. So watch that video, it's going to be really helpful. But for me, Thomas Parkinson, out here in the beautiful Riviera, Cancun, Mexico, thank you very much.